one, and that will lead them the win right now.
So yeah, that was just game one. But oh man, let's go ahead and talk about what went wrong there for the main team. Because like we mentioned, it was just very definitive. We saw it in the stats. Kit was an absolute monster on that Cricknack. And what made it all the more trickier for the main team is that they had a lot of members that were on the squishier side that could, sure, like if fed, if they were able to keep safe, would have ideally been able to carry, but that wasn't really the case because the Cricknack was just able to find that opening to get onto those squishy targets, take him off right off the bat, and yeah, that was just at the end of the day, that was the struggle that the main team had to deal with time and time again in team fights, and which is why it came to a point wherein they were just pretty much limited their base. Although at that one point, they were able to start to retaliate because, like I mentioned, once we reached those later parts of the game, all main team had to do was turtle. But yeah, there were still a few hiccups here and there. Unfortunate because they were able to take a high ground in the mid lane, but from there, it was just a wild card able to find their bearings once again and take it all the way to the game one victory.
I agree. And also, seeing the last moments of the game, I think the main team is trying to get an Abyssal Dragon, if I'm not mistaken, on that point. And then probably 4-man, it's already my doubt because the tank or TAOZ, if I'm not mistaken, is away on that fight. I'm thinking of if the wild card will have a disadvantage of that one. Luckily, their burst damage is enough to peel off, to pick off someone, and all of a sudden, it's in their favor already.
So hopefully we see a little bit of a different performance from the main team right there. I don't think banning Cricknack would be worth it.
Yeah, no.
Probably just a different direction in draft, not to mention... well, just generally keep the Cricknack in check because Cricknack goes both ways, wherein if he snowballs so hard, able to get pickoffs onto almost any member to shred through, no matter how tanky they are. But if they're able to shut down the Cricknack early on the flip side, then Cricknack loses a lot of his relevance in the game. So let's just see if main team can make that adjustment as we head into the drafting phase for game number 2.
It's same. It's still the Teamy and the Omen. Almost the same bans. Still the Superman.
Red team's turn to ban.
Huh. So far, pretty much standard bans that we're seeing here. The Flash, of course, no surprise right there.
Blue team's turn to pick.
Let's go ahead and see what picks they'll go for here because Siniel, of course, high priority for the main team, gonna be taking him away.
And we'll be seeing still the Alice and Tulin combo. We will see right about now if they will pick or prioritize Tulin.
Well, earlier, we're able to get him, trying to figure out, is it going to be worth the priority once again here, though? Because we have other options open. Could possibly take the, I was about to say the Lubu right there. So looks like they will indeed be locking in that particular hero. So playing it a little bit more standard, what's more optimal in power picks right now for the game?
Still the Lubu. Lubu and... is this a good option, Lubu and...
Well, I mean, definitely gives them a lot of early power, in which case, because Lubu, he's the best of both worlds, could actually set for a mini set for your team, not to mention could last himself quite well in team fights, not to mention he himself a little bit more of a trickier target to lock down. So in exchange though, looks like Thailand gonna be going for the Scud, in which case Scud, of course, you don't really see as much lately, but when played correctly, especially when going for sets for team fights, or even yesterday, we saw Scud yesterday in a very infamous backdoor. So very creative use of Scud, in which case, so
it's really also good in putting up a fight to the team, and it's really good if probably cornered or something like that. But I think the problem for him or for Scud here is probably Lubu.
Yep. But nonetheless, in exchange, though, in order to wrap up this composition, Violet as well as the Grok.
The ground. I usually main him before. I really love the hook.
Yeah, just being able to hook someone in, follow it up with your ultimate, and just get the full lockdown, which is what I feel what Thailand can go for here. I mean, they have that early pressure. If they could get an early hook on to members of the wildcard team, lock him down with the kit that Scud as well as the Senior has, get those knockups, then I think Thailand main team could definitely mount an equal 1-1, but we'll just have to see. Still waiting for that last pick. Lumber will be opting for Max instead. Definitely a better choice, in which case having a faster response for TAOZ there. But looks like both sides have locked in their composition. So far looking pretty good for both teams. Different ways of going about team fights, but I think at the end of the day, for the main team, Thailand on the blue side, it's definitely all about trying to gear up earlier on. Look for those pickoffs if they can on the wild card, because in exchange for the wild card, definitely wanting to build off right there. Probably going to look for potential picks themselves. Try to assert especially lane dominance, because Lindis will be able to clear out camps early in rotation and then transition into ganks for team fights. Could potentially scout out members from the main team as well. So we'll just have to see how that goes down later on.
I still love Lumber though. I'm expecting for a Lumber and then Max and my face test. I really like to see Lumber. I want to see his ultimate being like being grumpy. And then the rest of the team follow up, especially the Lubu, right? And then yep, and here we go, the usual one, fist bump.
So there you have it, guys. That is gonna be game number 2. We're heading into its battle of Thai versus Thai, main versus wildcard. So far, it's actually the wildcard team against expectation that has the one-up against the main team, which makes this best of 5 all the more something to look forward to. So that is it, ladies and gents. We're going to be heading out to the entire battlefield for all the action.
Right. Oh, probably this will be the first fight that they will got. Moss is in position right now, who wants to be hooked. But they probably noticed it and they will just go for a Sage Golem instead.
Yes, looks like they're going to be going for just that. Thailand, trade for trade, but okay, Cherie actually going to try to prevent the try to deal with the scuffle here from wildcard.
Oh, being taken there.
That's a tad bit. Well, you know, not really much a Senior can do, in which case, against 3 members of the wildcard going into taking camps from the main team. So, just pretty much standard trade-offs here and there in terms of camps, but nothing particularly definitive in our game so far.
Seeing here Max with an execute, this is interesting. Max with an execute, especially the kit that he have, can really deal that damage that he really needs.
Yeah, looks like taking it a bit more methodical here. Going to be taking the Eagle just so that they could get some sights here onto the jungle side of the wildcard. Not that there's really much, but we'll give them insight on what camps have already been cleared in exchange by the wildcard team here. Take note, the Grok is lingering towards this mid lane, looking for the perfect pickoff opportunity. Take note, 3 members are there from the main team in case they too want to try to go for something.
Oh, hook! And that would be probably first blood. There we go, the first blood. The auto attack from MeMarkz secured that kill, but 007 might be in trouble right now. TAOZ is jumping inside. It's still durable.
Ooh.
They will back off for now.
Yes, so far that was definitely good for the main team, and they just need to continue to keep that up. Just continue to get those pickoffs left and right. Make sure you get the full collapse from the rest of the Thai squad, and that pretty much seals the deal right there. Maybe they could really boost up on an early snowball, the main team. But of course, wildcard, in which case they're going to have to be efficient at their side steps if they want to avoid just that.
Well, looking at here, almost 1k goal advantage for the main team, the Thailand. Let's see how the wildcard will answer back in that one, especially they secure the first kill, and they will probably get the Abyssal Dragon, but it's being contested right now. Romeo is just dancing inside. Remix will give the beating of Romeo's life right there. Abyssal Dragon has been taken, but it's been 2-0, courtesy of the main team.
Yes, not a bad way to go for the main team. And man, this is very tricky if wildcard starts to fall behind this early on, because if the main team just could snowball incredibly well with his composition. And that said, a pick off onto Michael and there tries to contest it. Moss just being an annoyance for the wildcard team here. But yeah, if main team Thailand can snowball off of this, then this could potentially be an early game finish that we'll have here, Y2K.
And I'll just make a fair share here. One of the heroes that I wanted to see in a competitive play is Talanis.
Ah, now that you mention it, that would actually be pretty nice. But ooh,
Speaking, it being bursted right now. The wildcard jumping inside, but they didn't anticipate the rest of the team of the main team, and they will secure again 2 kills and a turret of their own.
oh man, that was rather unfortunate for the wildcard squad here. And look at this, main team really starting to exert their dominance in this game. 10.9k versus 7.6k difference between the two, and really building up for a main team, in which case we're yet to see wildcard get a significant trade-off of their own, wherein maybe transition from pick-off or pressure kill to an objective, but that really hasn't been the case so far.
Probably will pick up a kill here. Moss is in position right now, waiting for a hook. There you go. And that would be in all. That would be all. Just dumping inside to Max, and TAOZ will perish.
That was pretty darn painful. 6-0 on the scoreboard, all the more definitive. And look at that. It's actually this remix that's leading the fray right now, just because of how well the main squad has been able to constantly collapse onto the wildcard team whenever they do manage to get an isolated target, in which case.
Yep, I agree. They just really need something who can answer back the pokes and the damage that the wildcard team is dishing. But on the other hand, probably not really that overextending, but they didn't really anticipate the backup from the main team.
Yeah, and okay, let's go ahead and see, because for wildcard here, well, nobody's really in a good position, without a doubt. I mean, even the key carries, in which case, not able to deal for trade damage. So if this continues to pick up, it's actually wildcard this time around gets gonna need to turtle into the later parts of the game. But like I mentioned, because of how fast the main team is amplifying the pace of this game by trying to constantly look for those pickoffs through Moss, through Remix, I don't think wildcard will have as much of that breathing room as they did grant for the main team earlier in game 1.
We just didn't notice it. Drewwy is being bursted again. Thailand main team securing.
Ooh, gonna get another turret here. Wildcard can't really do anything, but just has to back away. Gonna leave that turret for dead, in which case, 1 by 1, main team really starting to boost a lead against the wildcard. Look at that, 007 making good work of that mid-second turret. But yeah, that's gonna very methodical how main team's functioning right now. Constantly making sure that the waves are pushed in, not to mention they're at least trying to contest camps as well from the wild card, just so that they could kinda choke them off from any opportunity to generate gold, which would otherwise continue to boost the difference. Because of course, for whatever ways wildcard could build up on gold, if main team continues to deny, then it's gonna be a tall order for them to get back into this game.
And meanwhile, it's bursted down. 007 is doing a quick work, and it's been a shutdown. TAOZ doing the kill right now, and a lot of happening. But one thing is for sure here, Thailand main team is on a roll.
Oh man, just like that, 4 members of the wildcard pick up, make that 5. That's gonna be the ace going to the main team. 1 for 5, in which case that was explosive. And looks like they're gonna reward themselves with a second tier towards the top side as an added Cherie on top.
Speaking of Cherie is in here. But yeah, really nice observation right there. Probably the space is in their favor.
Yep.
Like they have all the kits. They have tankiness, they have crowd control, and the burst savage at the same time. Oh,
Yeah.
who got it? Oh, Remix got it.
But you know what's sad here for the wild card? Look at where the Tulin as well as Linda stands right now. Both 0, 3, and 1. damage is pretty much irrelevant in team fights so far unless they could start building up themselves, because looking at their counterparts here in the Violet and Liliana, they're just very, very, not just well played, but well fed.
And Moss randomly trying to blind hook and probably getting someone. Ooh, this is probably the opportunity they need. MeMarkz right now again. There we go, shut down. Courtesy of Romeo and the rest of the team is inside. Moss ultimate didn't hit any, but the Cherie again on the top doing his job. Bloodbath already by Remix. It turned things around once again.
Ooh, meanwhile, looks like main team gonna make a transition here towards the top side. KSSA and Drewwy are gonna make sure that they cover it though. Not gonna allow for an easy take, but oh, hook in coming in from Moss. Are they gonna go for something here? Taking quite a bit of damage though, Moss.
Probably 007 wants to get the turret.
Looks like they're nearing just that. Look at those high grounds going down.
3 high grounds turret is being attacked right now. And Cherie is in the bad spot, but they must have this as an advantage. There we go, 2 turret and the high ground make that 3.
Man, he is tanky as hell. Wildcard trying the best they can to fend off the main team, but with 2 high ground turrets down, this is just going to further limit them, and the gold lead has pretty much spiraled out of control.
It's out of nowhere. Like the initiation by the main team earlier, they thought they have it. I mean, sorry, the wild card. They thought they have it. It's again a reminiscence of the first games that we casted. They once again bursted all the abilities that they can throw, and then it still turns in the favor of the main team.
Yes, meanwhile, looks like Wildcard trying to get their bearings back, gonna try to force pressure of their own. TAOZ getting a nice push in towards top side, since that's the only wave. Well, not really no high grounds really stand. So, like, Wildcard could use all the pressure that they can, in which case, gonna go for a very high risk, high reward Dark Slayer here, though. Looks like they're gonna have to back away, in which case, probably a leash for the main team, but no. Main team's gonna go for it.
Bursted.
Whew.
Again, Kit needs to be in trouble right now. Ooh, the ultimate by Moss again missing, but that's not the case. Still, 007 doing his job. Just wanting, again, a kill to KSSA.
Oh, man.
There you go.
And looks like just like that, Team Thailand can go for a finish here. Goes for the core. Only Drewwy up and kicking in this game.
And this would be 1-1, courtesy of main team.
Yep, equal scoreboard right now here for both sides. Well played. A completely different shift in gears here for the main team right there. After quite not the best showing here in game 1, looks like they kind of got their bearings, managing to pull off a dominating performance against the wildcard team. And like I mentioned, that was pretty much the textbook win condition that they needed to follow. All they needed to do was look for those earlier on pickoffs, force wildcard into a position wherein they're in complete irrelevance because of lack of scaling, because of how far they fall behind, and of course in effect with how much the main team was able to pull ahead. And there's a completely different tune from what we saw in game 1, that's for sure. And looking at the standings, so this is the thing, everybody from the wildcard team just fell behind so hard. And I mean, look at this, single digits versus the double digit overall scoring for both teams here. So that in itself, it's a no-brainer. Main team just completely crushed in this game too.
Main team